My name is Samantha Martin, and for my research topic, I picked GMOs and if they're really as bad as people seem. When you research GMOs, especially when you look on Google, there are a lot of websites that tell you why they're bad for you, why you should avoid them, and how they're not safe for you. But there are not a lot of facts that are behind it, and there are a ton of scientific studies that have been done that back up why GMOs are safe for us to consume. I'm currently going to ask three of my friends a couple questions about GMOs to show how we are not educated so much on GMOs and it's more of an opinion-based topic. I'm with one of my friends. Her name is Emily Santoro, and I'm just going to ask her a couple questions on GMOs. So to start off with, do you know what a GMO is?
I know that GMO stands for genetically modified organism, but I don't really know what that means.
And when buying foods, do you pay attention to if there's a GM label or if it's made with GM ingredients?
No, that's not really something that I look for.
And do you have a opinion on them, if they're good, they're bad, or safe for you?
I know that everyone says that they're bad, but I haven't been educated enough on the topic to really have an opinion.
Next, I'm talking with Claire O'Shea. So do you know what a GMO is?
Yeah, it's a genetically modified organism.
And when buying foods, do you pay attention to the labels?
No.
And if it says GM on it, do you avoid buying it?
No, I don't avoid it.
And what is your opinion on GMOs?
I think that they're not the best for us, but like for environmental sustainability, like we kind of need them to keep the food source available.
So I'm talking with Cindy Garnier, and I have a quick question about her opinion on GMOs.
I think that they could be hazardous to our health, and definitely in the long run we will be paying the price for using them excessively.
If you were to be shown scientific research and that like 3 different government agencies regulate it, would it change your mind or perhaps make you rethink about eating GMOs?
I'm not sure. I have seen research that it's been hazardous to health conditions, and I don't think I would be able to be persuaded.
Lastly, I'm talking with Mario Bach. So do you know what a GMO is?
I do. It's a genetically modified organism.
And when buying foods, do you pay attention to the label, and if it says GMO on it, do you avoid it?
I don't avoid it per se, but like if there were other options, like if it was against another option, I would pick the GMO one. But like I don't avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's no GMO option, like I would buy it without GMOs, but like
Yeah.
I'd rather have GMOs.
And
No GMOs, I mean.
do you have an opinion on GMOs?
Yeah, like I definitely think that they aren't good for you. I don't really like agree with like the whole like DNA sequencing and like modifying. I think that that's not a good thing to do.
As you can see from talking to different people, there are a lot of different opinions on the use of GMOs as our food source. It is important that we educate people on the use and that we continue to do it because as you can see that there's so many different ones. There are people that have no idea what they are. There are people that understand it vaguely. There are people that are very opinionated on it, that eat healthy and think that GMOs are going to affect them. So it really just depends on teaching people and showing them that they're really not as bad as people seem. They're regulated by 3 different government agencies. There's different testing that's involved. And honestly, if we didn't have GMOs, certain fruits, vegetables, different foods that we do eat would not look the same and would not be what we are actually eating today. There are, like, an example is seedless watermelon. If we have not manipulated some of the genes that were in it, watermelons wouldn't even look like they are today, and they would also still have seeds in them. So it's really just important that we explain it and educate people on the use of them so that the opinions are not so negative. And you can even see that online, that they always have websites that tell you to avoid them and not to eat them, and that really does get in people's heads as much as if there was websites that would show how good they are for you. So it's a very controversial topic, and it does need to be discussed so that eventually when they become a majority of our food source, that people are not afraid of them, or when the Labeling Act does go into effect, that people will still buy the foods and make it so that companies can still use GM foods, because if the Labeling Act makes it so that they do not buy the foods with the labels on it, then eventually our food source will diminish because companies obviously will change their ingredients. So overall, GMOs are important. There are a lot of different opinions on them, but as we're moving forward, we do need to educate people on the use of them so that it's not so scary.